Hey everyone, I'm Colette. Welcome to my channel, Witchways, and today I'm going to revisit one of my very first, earliest YouTube videos on doing daily practices and talk about if they matter or not. I want to put these daily practices, and I'm sharing some new ones, in a more nuanced context than I did in that first video. I hope you enjoy. I always tell my students that daily practices are really important, and they certainly can be. Daily practices build magical muscle, and you learn more if you do it that way, but it shouldn't just be another thing on your to-do list or something that makes you stressed or make you feel like you have to perform a certain number of tasks in order to be a witch. Anyone can be a witch. Anyone can live a magical life, but not everyone wants to devote their life's path to witchcraft. For most people, I think it's probably preferable to just do daily practices when you can and have the energy. That's perfect. In this world, we certainly don't need to rush more. Your craft will still be real and authentic and grounded in who you are and what you can do. However, if your goal is to become a highly skilled witch quickly, that takes commitment, and consistent practice does help. That said, you can still get to that place. It'll just take longer. I'm going to break each daily practice into two parts. A simple, easy practice that you can do regularly, or as regularly as you want, which is what most of you came here for. And I'm also going to share practices that build specific skills for those of you who are intermediate, or you want to advance more quickly or push yourself. When you first wake up, take a few calm, slow, centering breaths. And even if you're drowsy, that's fine, use it. Let your breath create a soft transitional state from the dream world into your day. Even 2 to 3 breaths really helps. This builds the skill of shifting between states of consciousness, and it also honors your dream space. And then when you get up, just step outside onto your porch or open a window, breathe and notice what's happening around you. Are there any changes in the plants that are in your yard or around your house? Are there animals around this morning? And if you want to go deeper or you want to push yourself, take a breath and soften your consciousness and just start to try and sense the general energy of the day. Don't edit. Just notice, and then jot down your impressions somewhere really easy, like notes on your phone, using your microphone on your phone, or just jot them on the calendar. I still personally keep a wall calendar. Doing candle magic can be a very simple daily practice. Set up a taper candle or a pillar in a semi-permanent space and briefly light it in the morning sometime, and set a very simple intention for yourself for the day. It can be as easy as, I ask that I stay calm and centered today, or I ask for support with holding boundaries with those who don't respect them today, or I ask for help in making decisions that allow my day to flow smoothly. I do that one a lot. Or ask whatever you want. As you light the candle, if you choose, you can ask for help from beneficial spirits if you work with them already, or the earth, whatever you are most comfortable with. If you're more intermediate and you want to push yourself a little, you can try lighting a candle to honor any spirits that you work with. This can be deities, it can be beings, it can be house spirits, it can be ancestors, whoever you like to work with. And just offer them a blessing as you light that candle, saying something like, I offer you this flame in appreciation and support of what you do. Then snuff it out and go about your day. It's pretty quick. Semi-regular altar work is also really helpful for building magical skills. If you can, set up a simple altar somewhere semi-permanently in your home and try to just spend a half minute there every day or every few days. All you have to do is take a few deep breaths, and offer a thank you to any beneficial spirits that you have, known or unknown. Again, that can be the ancestors or the earth or whatever you're most comfortable with. If you're intermediate and you want to build your skills more quickly, you could commit to spending more time at your altar every few weeks or maybe once a week on a day that you regularly have time in your schedule. This could be on a new moon or a full moon, whatever works for you. I find it really helpful to mark that on my calendar so that I remember it and I know it's coming up. And so the way you do this is you just go to your altar, light a candle, take some breaths, soften your consciousness, and practice your visualization skills. And you might have ideas about how you want to do this, but one thing I think is really helpful is to just visualize beings that you work with standing around you, supporting you, and just sending a thread of appreciation and support back to them. It's like a little ping, just breathing out, or a little flash of color you send them. And this can really help build your skills on focusing and shifting consciousness. For me, I see the world around me as alive and full of spirit and physical beings that have their own life purpose. Now, I want to be in relationship with those beings. So one of my favorite personal practices is to touch plants as I go about my day. It's a very simple way to start building relationships. And that might just be touching the bark of a tree as I pass it by, or gently running my hand through a plant that I know is fragrant, or maybe just taking a minute to say hello to plants that have just started blooming and noticing how beautiful they are. This is a really simple process, but it does start to connect you and build a relationship with the plants around you, and then from there you can extend that to other beings around you. And I think it's helpful to start the communication yourself by thanking them or telling them something you notice about them that you appreciate. If you're more intermediate and you want to push yourself, you might commit to spending more time with a particular plant every once in a while, and just soften, center, and take a few breaths. Imagine pushing your energy out until it just barely touches the edges of the plant, and then just notice. Does the plant feel welcoming and friendly? Does it feel neutral, or does it feel repellent? Over time, then, you might start noticing that they jump out at you or volunteer if they want to be on your altar when you're doing specific workings, or they might appear more shiny or catch your eye if they want to work with you and go deeper. And over time, you'll start getting some more subtle messages and feelings and sensations from them. We're living in very disturbing times, especially in the United States. And I find personally, this is just my belief, that it's really important for witches, sensitive people, and empaths to have a very simple practice around clearing themselves off every day or more than once a day. So this also builds the skill of connecting with the element of water energetically. So before you step into a shower, let the water run, put your hands under the water and feel the flow of that movement. Then take a second or two to connect with that flow and ask the water to remove anything from you that is not yours and you don't need in that moment. And then thank the water. If you're intermediate and you want to hone your visualization skills, you can imagine the shower as a natural water source pouring over you and through your energy, and that the water spirits are actively working with you to help carry away what is not needed. And then you can get out and thank the water spirits. Maybe make an offering to them by pouring a little water out on the earth. When you end your day, take a few breaths and try to remember at least one magical thing that happened that day. And that could be as simple as remembering a moment when you trusted your intuition and you were right, or you had a moment of appreciating your connection to the world around you, or seeing something very magical. If you're more intermediate and you want to push yourself, you can pull a card for the day's experiences and track it in your journal and look at the way the magical flows shift and change over time and try to see the bigger picture. Put a yes in the comments or an emoji if you like working with daily practices, and please feel free to share your own so we can all learn from each other. And I invite you to check out my description for links to Patreon options, newsletter sign up, and my new Witch Musings blog. And I think this week's article is going to be on setting up altars in various ways. Until next time, stay safe and be well.